All right, welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving into something every HVAC professional knows all too well, and that's the weather. We're going to talk about transitioning your business from a reactive, feast or famine approach to a proactive marketing system that actually uses seasonality to build year-round revenue. Because if you've ever watched your phone sit completely, agonizingly quiet on a mild Tuesday in June, only to have it ringing off the hook during a July heat wave, you already know firsthand that weather dictates demand in this industry. But today, we're going to look at exactly how to build a marketing machine that thrives on these seasonal shifts, rather than just surviving them. So ask yourself this fundamental question right now. Are you reacting to the weather or profiting from it? It completely exposes a massive flaw in how most local contractors operate. Only turning on the ads when the phone stops ringing. A lot of service contractors basically treat their marketing like a thermostat, right? They only adjust it when they start to feel a bit uncomfortable. But reacting to the thermometer is honestly a guaranteed way to lose your market share. We really need to shift your perspective today so you're positioned to profit from the weather long before that first snowflake falls or the summer heat sets in. So here's our roadmap for today. We'll quickly cover the reactive marketing trap, then move into pre-season SEO content, weather-triggered ads, navigating those tricky shoulder seasons, and finally, we'll wrap up with the follow-up system. Okay, let's jump straight into part one, the reactive marketing trap. This is absolutely crucial. You have to stop paying for the exact same groundwork twice. When you market reactively, constantly starting and stopping your campaigns as the weather changes, you are quite literally throwing money away. Plus, you're losing out to competitors who are building consistent year-round systems. Think about it. Business slows down in the spring, so you panic, maybe boost a post on social media or fire up an ad campaign. Then the summer heat hits, you get too busy, and you just turn it all off. Well, every single time you restart that engine, you pay for that initial setup all over again. You lose your momentum, and worse, you lose your search rankings to the guys who stayed visible all year. That brings us right into section 2, pre-season SEO content strategy. Instead of sitting around waiting for demand to spike, we need to plant the seeds early. That way, you actually own the leads instead of just renting them from ad platforms forever. You really have to follow the 60 to 90-day publication rule. For example, if you want to capture that massive spike in AC repair in June, your content actually needs to be live way back on March 1st. Same goes for the rest of the year. January 1st for spring tune-ups, August 1st for fall furnace prep, and October 1st for winter repairs. Search engines just need time to index and rank your pages. If you wait until the summer heat wave to post about AC repair, I guarantee your competitors' pages are already ranking. You've got to build that digital real estate ahead of the weather front. And here is why that matters so much. The Google Local Pack captures an incredible 60 to 80% of all HVAC calls. That makes early proximity, relevance, and authority optimization completely non-negotiable. Look, when someone's AC dies in the middle of a blazing heat wave, they are not scrolling to page 3 of Google. No way. They look at those top 3 local map listings right at the top of the page. If you haven't done the preseason work to optimize your Google business profile with seasonal photos, exact service categories, and fresh reviews, you're going to miss out on the lion's share of that peak season revenue. Now, to capture that traffic, you need to categorize your keywords by intent. This ensures your service pages actually match what homeowners are searching for when the weather shifts. There's a world of difference between emergency intent and brand intent. Someone frantically typing AC not working tonight is in pain. They aren't shopping for a whole new system. They are literally looking for a savior to fix it right now. On the flip side, someone searching Carrier versus Trane in early spring, well, they're planning a major purchase before the summer heat arrives. Your website has to have dedicated, highly specific pages for each of these seasonal intents, rather than just dumping all your traffic onto a generic homepage and hoping for the best. And a great way to figure out those intents is by looking at the exact questions consumers are asking, because they directly reveal their purchase intentions. When a homeowner types in, "Why does my furnace smell like burning plastic?" that is a massive flashing red light indicating an impending emergency call. If your pre-season content directly answers that specific question, boom, you instantly become the trusted authority. You transition from being just another random contractor in their search results to being the expert who understands their exact problem before they've even picked up the phone. All right, moving on to section 3, weather-triggered Google Ads. Once you've laid that SEO groundwork, it's time to aggressively harvest the demand during those peak temperature swings. When the AC is out or the furnace is dead, people are hot, annoyed, and ready to call right this second. The urgency is off the charts. Remember, during an emergency, ad impressions do not pay your payroll. Booked jobs do. So your ad has to match their immediate pain perfectly. When it's 105 degrees outside, a homeowner frankly doesn't care about your company's history or how many trucks you have in your fleet. Your ad shouldn't just say quality HVAC service. They need to scream AC out, same-day repair available. You really need to crank up your ad bids when the temperature spikes and then smartly dial them back down when the weather gets mild. And the offer you put in those ads makes all the difference. There's a stark contrast between tossing out a lazy offer, like a generic 10% off coupon, and throwing a dart with a highly targeted offer that dramatically reduces friction for the homeowner. A lazy offer just doesn't motivate a homeowner who's in a crisis. But a targeted offer, say a $49 diagnostic fee waived with repair, that dramatically lowers the barrier to getting your technician through their front door. Or think about offering a free second opinion on condemned units. That perfectly targets a desperate homeowner who just got hit with a massive replacement quote during a heat wave and is desperately looking for a lifeline. When you get this right, the numbers are fantastic. For Google Local Services ads, the closed return on ad spend is an impressive 9.55x. That means for every single dollar you spend on these ads, you're seeing nearly $10 back in booked revenue. But, and this is a massive catch tied directly to seasonal urgency, it all comes down to speed to lead. During a freeze or a heat wave, leads go cold incredibly fast. If you're stuck up in an attic and you miss that call, that homeowner is instantly dialing the very next company on Google. You absolutely must have a system to respond to these leads in under 60 seconds. Now let's talk about Section 4, profiting in shoulder seasons. When the peak heat or biting cold finally fades, we have to stabilize your revenue during those mild months. This is what brings that much-needed relief and stability to your business after the crazy frenzy of a heat wave. Launching maintenance agreement programs, usually for around $150 to $299 a year, keeps your trucks rolling and secures a long-term relationship with the homeowner. Those shoulder seasons, the mild weeks in spring and fall, are traditionally when a lot of HVAC companies just starve. But maintenance agreements are the perfect antidote. By scheduling your preseason tune-ups during these exact windows, you basically guarantee work for your technicians when the emergency calls drop to zero. Plus, you're offering them priority scheduling, which means when extreme weather does eventually hit, these customers are calling you, not your competition. And here is the real magic of that strategy. Over 80% of maintenance customers will eventually replace their equipment with you. So the crucial takeaway here is that this gives you a steady pipeline of high-ticket replacement leads with a near-zero customer acquisition cost. When you're the one showing up for the fall and spring tune-ups year after year, you're the one who naturally notices when a system is on its last legs. When it comes time for that $10,000 replacement, these homeowners aren't going back to Google to shop around. They already know and trust the technician standing right there in their backyard. You've essentially completely bypassed the super expensive seasonal ad bidding war. Finally, let's bring it all home with Section 5. The follow-up conversions system. Industry data shows that 30 to 50% of unsold HVAC estimates will actually close with just a single follow-up. Now, I know during the absolute madness of a busy season, it's so easy to drop off an estimate and just run off to the next burning fire. But did you know a silent homeowner often just means not yet? Leaving those estimates to just die on the vine means you are leaving massive amounts of money on the table. Think about it from their perspective. They might just be waiting for their next paycheck, talking it over with their spouse, or just waiting to see if the weather actually stays extreme before they pull the trigger. By implementing a very direct, no-nonsense, 3-step follow-up sequence, you can actually increase your close rate by 20 to 30%, and you won't spend an extra dime on ads to do it. It's a really simple progression. Step 1 on day 2, shoot them a quick text check-in just asking if they have any questions. Step 2 on day 7, give them a brief, friendly phone call. And step 3 on day 14, send a final price hold email, just politely letting them know how much longer their quoted pricing is locked in for. Most of your competitors are doing absolutely zero follow-up. Just by being the one who bothers to check in, you win the job. You know, you can have absolutely flawless installations, zero callbacks, and literally the fastest technicians in your entire state. But if you do not have a robust, year-round system combining SEO, ads, and follow-ups, your competitors are going to steal your market share anyway. Visibility isn't just a happy accident. It is an engineered system, one that anticipates seasonal demand, plants the marketing seeds early, bids aggressively when the customer's pain is at its highest, and locks in loyalty during the quiet months. Keep this in mind. the best HVAC company in your city rarely wins the most jobs. The most visible one does. So you really need to stop reacting to the thermometer. Implement these proactive strategies and take total control of your revenue starting today. The weather's always going to fluctuate, that's a given, but your cash flow absolutely doesn't have to. You now have the blueprint to turn seasonality from what is usually your biggest vulnerability into your ultimate competitive advantage. So the only question left for you is this: will your pipeline dry up this slow season, or will you deploy a system that owns local demand year-round? Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and we will catch you next time.